Radha Madhav Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada 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 Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Prabhupada ki jai Guru Parampara ki jai Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai Shri Shri Gaurnitai Bhagavan ki jai Shri Shri Krishna Balaram Bhagavan ki jai Radha Shyama Sundar Bhagavan ki jai Samaveta Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai Zoom participant Bhakta Vrinda ki jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita course ki jai Nitai Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled
Krishna.
All glories to the assembled
Krishna.
All glories to Sri Sri Guru Gauranga. All glories to Sri Prabhupada.
Hari Hari.
Vishnu Badai Krishna.
Prasthavatra Srimate.
Namaste Saraswati Bhagavani Pachani Vishnu. Hare Krishna. Thank you for all coming back. It shows your interest and inspiration. I pray that Krishna take it very seriously and give you all the components, all the help that you need to awake your dormant love for him. So with that note, we're going to start from where we left. So yesterday one Mataji was suggesting that if we have some kind of a little sketch that where we are heading, why the next verse is coming, or next verse with the previous verse indicating the future verse. So I was studying this little bit, so I wanted to give some clue about it. So that's a nice way of also focusing. So that will help. I think it was Mother Otiti Lata Devidas suggested, and I appreciate that. Thank you. But today I have one suggestion request. When I ask somebody, when I ask questions, when I ask you to answer the question, instead of like turning on or unmuting, you just raise your hand. I'm sure this feature has. You can just raise your hand. So this way I can see. I don't know if they have it or not.
It has, I think we have it. Yes,
it will be there,
like
Prabhuji. Alt Y it will do.
Okay.
Yes.
So this way we will not interrupt, and then I'll just call. I'll see the hand raised, and then I'll just call you. That will be better. So we are very excited. I mean, I am excited with you all, because you all are very wonderful devotees. What we finished yesterday, I want to just touch base, just few things that 7.8, that where Krishna says the ability in man. So I hope you have taken to your heart. I want you to just remember this: faith or believing in yourself without Krishna is ignorant. And a lot of time, I mean, I should not say you all, but a lot of time I used to do, I still probably do. I think I know, I can figure it out if something happened. Actually, we should always remember that verse, it says, Purusha Nishu, believing in myself without faith in Krishna is ignorant. And believing in Krishna without believing in myself is important. So both are bad. So this is, we must remember how, because what we are acquiring knowledge in our heart, we must apply it. Then your consciousness will be purified. You will see Krishna face to face. Confidence is essential for doing anything challenging. And life is full of challenge. Even to come to the class on time and pay attention, even in our temple sometime in class, once in a rare case, somebody falls asleep. So I asked the person, I say, I won't say the name because it's on internet. Did you come to fall asleep in the class? And he was a little embarrassed. I said, no, don't feel embarrassed. I'm just asking a question because that's what Krishna is trying to tell us. Obviously not. Nobody goes to the class to fall asleep. But then why falling asleep? This has to be triggered. Where this coming from? So I want you to apply this knowledge what you're learning more than just getting the a certificate called Bhakti Shastri. That's wonderful too. But main topics is not just to get the certificate, to apply this knowledge. So confidence is essential for doing anything challenging. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Hai Sadhu Sangha, Krishna Prema Janme Tehu Puna Mukha Anga. As you are progressing in spiritual path, you will have a new friend. Some of your old friend will not keep up with you. You may lose them. You may feel hurt. Do not worry. Rupa Goswami Pad says, keep on going. This is how it will take place. As you progress more and more, you will have a newer friend. You never thought you will have that kind of friend. And your closest friend maybe is not interested to progress, is interested to practice Krishna consciousness with side by side of materials enjoyment, full speed. Well, it does not go that way, my friends. Either you progressing in Krishna consciousness more than material success, or material success will take place more than Krishna consciousness. Obviously, you have come to study Srimad Bhagavad Gita, means you have interest to grow spiritually. You don't want to come back next life. You want to finish this life end of this material existence. And if you do so, you have decided, then Rupa Goswami Pad says, keep on progressing with the idea that when new friend comes to help you in spiritual path, respect that, see that Krishna's blessing. And if your closest friend, closest sister, closest brother, they are not interested, it's okay. Maintain the respect, but leave it like that. Do not feel hurt, but it will hurt. Mind will create some uncomfortability. Why? We grow up together, why we are separating? But this is what will happen. So, those with confidence have an energy and a magnetism. Energy that enables them to push beyond the boundaries that limit most other people. And by the association of those advanced devotees, magnetism that draws others to be with them and to stretch themselves with them. I'm just talking about your heart, about your own feeling and awareness, how it will take place in next few days, few months, few years. Still, confidence can easily morph into arrogance, where people think that they know everything and that they are the source of their abilities and energies. When their ability desert them, as happens to even the most talented people, sooner or later, they end up unable to process that loss. So having invested their self-worth and even their self-identity in their capacity to do challenging things, like getting up every day Mangalarti or chanting your rounds and really focusing on Krishna, they cannot face themselves. Leave alone, face the world. Many devotees face like that. I personally interviewed. For them, it is vital to remember the Bhagavad Gita inside, that our abilities, look at it, the verse 7.8, Krishna is saying that ability in man, that our abilities are coming from Krishna, not from us. To say sole claim to our abilities is ignorance. Devotionally inclined understand that their abilities come from God, but they may go too far on the other side by believing that they are utterly worthless. Sometimes some devotee claim like that. Oh, I'm just useless, Prabhu. I'm just no good. They say like that, or they feel like that. They may not say even. Or you may feel, one of you, I mean, I'm sure you went sometime in your life like this. How come I'm not a good devotee? How come I cannot be advanced? What's wrong with me? It is not a good idea to think like this. Focus on Krishna, what he is saying. If you focus on Krishna, how big Krishna is, how merciful he is, your problem, your challenge become tiny, insignificant. It is reality in my life happen also. It is not Krishna speaking. It is actually happening in our life. If we can shift our focus on Krishna instead of ourselves. So devotionally inclined understand that their abilities come from Krishna. While humility, which is an essential spiritual virtue, means not to be drunk with ego. It does not mean that we cannot do anything. Because the other side of it, okay, everything coming from Krishna. The other side is like, I am a useless guy. Oh, that devotee, oh, he remembers so many slokas. That devotee is so nicely chanting. I'm just not good for anything. That is also bad. Krishna did not say that. You look at that 7.8, just one verse yesterday we did. I mean, we did many verses until 12. I'm just focusing on one. And then we'll start from 13. So implicit, I would say Bhagavad Gita urges Arjuna to become an instrument, or urges you individually to become an instrument of the divine for changing your heart and the world, order toward greater virtue. Implicit in this call is the understanding that we all have the potential to be instrument of the divine. Even if we believe that we are unqualified, sometimes we feel, and we really believe. So my question is, why you believing your doubt? Did it ever occur to you? Like you started doubting your belief? Why are you doubting your belief? Why don't you doubt your doubt? This is necessary. This is what Krishna and Arjuna's dialogue going on in this part of the book. So even if we believe that we are unqualified, our lack of qualification is not greater than God's capacity to give us that qualification. By focusing on our potential as conscious beings who are precious parts of Krishna, we can be inspired to do something worthwhile, like Prabhupada did, with what he has given us. Each of us are actually candidate to be an directly instrument of Krishna's right now. Believe in it. So I'll end with this. The faith or believe in yourself without Krishna is ignorant. Just remember that. And believe in Krishna without faith in you or yourself is important. Either one is not good. This is not what Krishna wants us to do. Neither Arjuna did. At the end you saw Arjuna said, Karishye vachanam tava. I'm ready, my Lord. He dropped the Gandiva and then he picked up the Gandiva. I am ready to carry on your order. Arjuna did not say, I can fight now and kill all of them. No, he said, I'll carry your order. There's a fine line. That is called dependence on Krishna. So up to the 6th chapter, when Krishna spoke very nicely about, I wrote a few lines that 1 to 6 chapter is more or less, I was looking, it's about you, about the soul, not so much about Krishna. So knowledge about Krishna is actually started revealing from chapter 7. Very few verses. up till 6, 1 to 6, about Krishna. It's all about the soul who we are individually and how we go through. And more than that, that knowledge about Bhagavan, which includes all his potencies, require if one is to practice the devotional bhakti, characterized as the best of all at the end of chapter 6, Yoginam api sarvesam. I'm sure you are familiar with it. Now in this chapter and few chapter in future, Krishna is going to explain more of a intermediate and secondary potency will be introduced. Now on this, I say, oh, maybe I did not. Just to catch, if everybody is with me, text 1, 2, 3. In this chapter, we discussed the first day. First 3 bars, it's prelude in which Krishna says, in essence, that devotion to me brings full knowledge of me. So this knowledge is characterized further. Why do, if I ask you a question or ask yourself a question, why do we need to know full knowledge of Krishna? The answer is also given in that same verse, first verse, that it will free us from all doubt. Where the doubt is coming from, you must remember, doubt is a function of the mind. Doubt is a function of the mind. So when doubt is overridden, we will be able as a soul to move freely. We are free. If you do not have any doubt in this bhakti path, you are literally free. You are liberated. So one big question is then, how do we become free from all this? How the doubt will be removed? The first verse it says, Tat Srinu, that you will be free of doubt by hearing about him. So therefore, it is important that we hear about Krishna every day. In the first verse, you will see that the word is there, Tat Srinu. And it is also in your exam, in closed book exam will be there. Tat Srinu means all my doubt will be released if I hear about Krishna. It began with that. Very nice. If anybody ever went to some Indians, I'm not trying to attack any Indian, in Indian's house, they are not fully Krishna conscious, but they are like kind of in the middle, or they are just born as a Hindus. So I used to live in San Diego, California, almost 20 years. I remember still, maybe his daughter is listening, he passed away, Dr. Duburi. Very nice man. He's a scientist. So in the altar, I saw everybody's picture is there. Have you ever been to somebody's house that they have everybody's picture? Ganesh ji, Shiva ji, Amma ji, this ji, that ji's. They're not missing anybody. They have a Sai Baba. They have everybody. So then in my mind, I was thinking, I still remember that he's a scientist. He comes from a very orthodox Brahmin family of South India, Hyderabad, or near Hyderabad, I forgot that place. Then why he is not inquisitive to learn about that who is God or how is that? But I didn't want to attack He's a very nice man. He met Prabhupada. He's very nice. He's trying his best. And good thing is, his daughter became a devotee, initiated by Jayapataka Maharaj. So things changed. So he was favorable, things changed. But then after a few months, we went to his house again with Badrinaran Maharaj. He was a Prabhu those days. He's the local GVC of California. So then I remember, and he asked me, I say, what is this, a new picture now? It's a some yogi. So we asked Dr. Duburi, why I'm bringing this, because this is relevant to text 1, 2, 3. I hope you understood why Krishna is wonderfully explaining this. So we asked Dr. Duburi, who is this? He said, oh, this is some yogi, is a very famous. It's a Siddhi Baba. I said, oh, you have so many. Why you have so many pictures? Just curious. We are seeing this for years. He said, in case if one is not right and one is right, I don't want to miss it. Even amongst devotee, one devotee asked me, is Gaur-Nitai like more important? Who should I focus? Like Krishna or Radharani or Mahaprabhu or Gaur-Nitai or Prabhupada? What should I do? Like, can you tell me like a one person I can focus? So I hope you got it day before yesterday's, that 1, 2, 3, it gives a very clear idea that who God is and how to remove your doubt of all this misconception. And if you cannot establish Krishna in that ascertainment, then your heart will be still troubling you. Then text 4 and 5, Krishna begins by defining his two principal energy, if you remember, the material energy and the soul. And then the text 6 and 7, he is talking about origin. He is the origin of both, and he is the dissolution of both. Then text 8 to 11, because when he revealed that I'm the origin and dissolution of both energy, then automatically the question is coming that where is he? From him this came. Even Bible says God created the earth and heaven. That means he existed before earth and heaven. So then question comes, where is Krishna? So 8 to 11, if you remember, Krishna actually literally shown that he is everywhere. But you have to see it through the Shastra Chakshu. Then 12, Krishna reveals that all states of being, be they of goodness, passion, and ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am, in one sense, everything, but I am independent. I'm not under the modes of material nature. On the contrary, are within me. Now we are going to start 13 and 14, where Krishna will explain us that all these souls deluded by Maya are helpless. What does that mean? They are in illusion and trapped. How they will get out of the trap? Only by surrendering. And I sent a little chart to this Prabhu, I think, Shivam Prabhu, I believe. If we can send it to you, and you can check yourself every moment in your life or every day for at least few days, few months, then it will be automatic. Whether you are deluded by Krishna's Maya Shakti or you are not. If Shivam Prabhu is there, he can send it to you right now. Or
we got it, Prabhuji. We got it.
Oh, you got it. Everybody got it?
Yes, it is in the group. It's in the
Okay.
group. Siddhari Mataji sent.
So before we start reading, can you understand what it says? It says relationship with friend. Is that the one you got?
No, Prabhu.
Relationship with friend, and I put 3 modes.
Yes, Prabhuji. Tamo, Rajo, Sattva, Gun, you
Yes.
given different, what is it called? Different characteristics or something.
Correct. So I'm just going to give you practical example. Say you have some relationship with your sister, brother, or wife, or husband, or children, or your neighbor somewhere. Just imagine for a moment. If something unexpected things happen, how do you feel? If you feel immediately scared, you have taken shelter of Tamagun. Try to examine within yourself where you are. You just heard a call from 911. Is this son? Is this your son? Immediately, what is happening? They didn't say you should be scared. You are already scared. Means Tamagun is predominating in your consciousness. Be very careful. Now, if you say, what happened? Where is he? You want to like take action immediately. Rajagun is predominating. I'm not saying don't do or don't do. I'm just telling you, just examine where your consciousness, who you are, where you are. If you say very straightforward and say, sir, what happened? Is he okay? What is going on? You're not nervous or aggressive. You're just very clearly trying to understand. Means you are Sattvagun. If you stay in Sattvagun, you can take shelter of Krishna right then and there. But if you are in Tamagun, it will take a long time to think. There's a one devotee, I will not say the name. Two person came in the middle of the night 2 years back through his window, and one guy grabbed his neck, another guy is searching something in the house, middle of the night. So next day he called me, and I personally asked him, I said, tell me the truth. What time, when exactly you were thinking of Krishna? And he was very honest. He said, after a few minutes, when the other guy said, let's get out, and the guy who grabbed my neck, he almost released. Then I was thinking, oh, Krishna, Krishna. But before, in the middle of danger, only thing he was thinking how to get out of it. He could not think of Krishna. This is reality. I can give you many examples practically happen in our life. You can go in your own life, examine that. This philosophy, this 2-3 bars, next 2-3 bars, it's for your practical life every day, how you deal. If your spouse say, tonight, every day we should have a dinner at 7 o'clock, and he doesn't answer, he doesn't show up. It's 7:30, 8 o'clock, and she's like a patient. Wife is very worried, and after some time, he comes like around 9 o'clock, and she's waiting from 7 o'clock for dinner. I hope it doesn't happen to devotees, but it happens in the Karmi world. So then he comes and said, and then she said, why you don't answer? Why you are like this? We're supposed to have 7. You think I just sit idle? I work so hard for this family. And he goes, and this happened. That's why I'm saying you, this is a reality happened, a friend revealed. Then next time, she's waiting at 7 o'clock. She's feeling insecure. I'm not going to challenge him. It was a nightmare. 3 days we didn't talk. We lived in the same room. So I'm not going to talk. This is a reality I'm talking about. So what she feels insecure. Where is her consciousness? Where is she now? Tamagun. Tamagun. Very good. Ignorance. If she say, you know what, you work hard, so I work hard too. Why you don't? Now this is Rajagun. If she say or he say, I'm sorry, you are important, so am I. I respect you like the way you respect me. We have a good friendship, very clear, very loving way of respecting each other. That is Satyagun. If you maintain Satyagun, you can connect with Krishna right then and there. I'm pounding that point. So these are few examples. I'm not going to go whole, this is not a psychology class. But Krishna is giving Arjuna this secret, these few verses, next 13, 14, 15, 16. These are wonderful verses. You can talk like a whole day, night, examine your own life. Oh, what this Prabhu is talking. I thought we are supposed to read Bhagavad Gita. He's talking about our private life. Excuse me, Prabhu, Bhagavad Gita is for our life journey. It is a guide of our devotional life. Krishna wants Arjuna to come back as he's supposed to. Krishna wants each of us to come back. So I'm not going to go with this whole list, but this is reality. That's how we made it. Many years back, I made it. So we'll start with the sloka.
Prabhuji, 1 second, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Like in the previously you were saying about confidence also initially when you said that we have to have confidence and we cannot say, oh, I do not believe in me, you know, like I am fallen, most fallen. But even the purest devotee, that is their attitude, right? Like Rupa Goswami also used to say, well, he is superior, of course, we know, but even every, like Haridas Thakur, everyone used to say like I am the most fallen. So how do we, you know, like how do we know that where it is, how we have to handle this situation?
This is a nice, very nice question. Thank you. The humility that they maintain is different than Arjuna's previous or our conditional humility or position. When we feel we are not connecting on Krishna with Krishna, we are examining our own inference source. When Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that anybody utter my name will lose all the piety, you know, I am worse than worm stool, I mean stool pit. It sounds like this is like extreme. Like how is that? They feel genuinely that they do not have any quality good. But all the quality that others are seeing in them, they see that coming from Guru and Krishna. So because underlining their humility is directly connected, deeply rooted with Krishna, it is highest, it is natural, it is good. But in the beginning stage of bhakti, when we just put ourselves in the center of I'm not good enough, it's self-pity, is no connection with humility. So more we focus on Guru Krishna, more we focus on Krishna's word, then genuine humility will develop. That time that feeling has actually satisfaction in the heart. But I don't know if you ever saw someone feels so deprived, so depressed, they don't even chant. But this is not the case of Rupa Goswami Pad. They are thinking of Krishna more when they feel they are worthless. So in one sense, it's actually two different things, but it appears like same. So self-pity is not humility. Self-pity means I am giving importance to myself by my own. That's why Prabhupada said, when that devotee says, oh, Prabhupada, I feel so fallen. And he went on and Prabhupada said, you are not, no, he said, I'm the most fallen. Prabhupada said, you are not most of anything. Why Prabhupada said, because we should not give ourselves in the center. We have to give Krishna in the center. But then when genuine fear, humility develops, that is attractive. Krishna actually enjoys that. I hope you got some idea of that.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you. So I will ask from the list that yesterday I did not ask. Kaiballa Prabhu, I think he did not read. Would you like to read the text 13, please?
Yes, Prabhu. 1 second. Let me open it.
Okay.
Is the shlok or the translation or purport? Translation purport?
Let's see how big the purport is. You can just read the sloka and the translation and somebody else. Now, what I discussed, these 3 modes, and you'll see the few verses. Try to apply this in your life. You'll come out of Maya. Okay, Prabhu.
Text number 13. Trivir gunam Verebhi sarvam idam jagat mohitam nadi janati mambebhya param vyayam. Translation: deleted by the 3 modes of goodness, patience, and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible.
Now I cannot see everybody's name. Matida Devi Dasi. Can you please read the purport, please? And next will be Palika Pabani Devi Dasi. Matida Devi Dasi. Not
Yes. Yes. 1 second.
Okay.
Purport.
Okay, everybody please prepare with the book if you have, or iPhone or iPad.
Can
somewhere.
you hear me?
Yes.
Can you
Text
hear me?
13.
Oh, okay. The whole world is enchanted by the 3 modes of material nature. Those who are bewildered by these 3 modes cannot understand that transcendental to this material nature is a Supreme Lord Krishna. Every living entity under the influence of material nature has a particular type of body and a particular type of psychological and biological activities accordingly. There are 4 classes of men functioning in the 3 material modes of nature. Those who are purely in the modes of goodness are called Brahmanas. Those who are purely in the modes of passion are called Kshatriyas. Those who are in the modes of both passion and ignorance are called Vaishyas. Those who are completely in ignorance are called Shudras. And those who are less than that are animals or animal life. However, these designations are not permanent. I may be either a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or whatever. In any case, this life is temporary. But although life is temporary and we do not know what we are going to be in the next life, by the spell of this illusory energy, we consider ourselves in terms of this bodily conception of life. And we thus think that we are American, Indian, Russian, or Brahmana, Hindu, Muslim, etc. And if we become entangled with the modes of material nature, then we forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is behind all these modes. So Lord Krishna says that living entities deluded by these 3 modes of nature do not understand that behind the material background is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Should I continue?
Just hold on to it, Mata.
Okay.
Right now, I am throwing an example. Check yourself, please. Everyone, check your own heart. I'm going to say something. Haribol, there's a good news that we are going to open we are going to build a big hall room to study Bhagavad Gita every day. The building will accommodate 5,000 people. 10,000 people. Now, we are not going to be judgmental. Those who are thinking, what will be the study? Bhagavad Gita. Okay, let's see the Bhagavad Gita. They're not waiting for the building to start. They will open the Bhagavad Gita and they will look into it, and they are called Brahmanas. I'm not saying you should check others, check your own self. And if you think like how big the hall will be, and who is going to control, who is going to manage, who is going to like a driving force behind this? If you are thinking like this, you have a Kshatriya nature, Rajagun right now. She just read this Prabhupada explanation. And if you're thinking, well, how much money is required to build that? You are in a Vaishya category. Right at this moment, you are Rajagun and Tamagun mix, Prabhu or Mata, whoever it is. And if you think like, oh gosh, it's like so big things, like a lot of work, a lot of things. Oh, you have a Sudra consciousness is invading. I'm sorry to say it, but and if you don't have anything, you're just in love with Krishna, then you are transcendental. You're not under these three modes. So try to see this, what Prabhupada is giving, Krishna is giving, practically in our life. But my request to you all, try to stay in Sattvagun. You will be happy and you can approach Krishna right there. And if you go to below, difficult. So that's what. Okay, Mata, please continue.
Yes. There are many different kinds of living entities, human beings, demigods, animals, etc. And each and every one of them is under the influence of material nature, and all of them have forgotten the transcendent personality of Godhead. Those who are in the mode of passion and ignorance, and even those who are in the mode of goodness, cannot go beyond the impersonal Brahman concept of the absolute truth. They are bewildered before the Supreme Lord in his personal feature, which possesses all beauty, opulence, knowledge, strength, fame, and renunciation. When even those who are in goodness cannot understand, what hope is there for those in passion and ignorance? Krishna consciousness is transcendental to all these three modes of material nature, and those who are truly established in Krishna consciousness are actually liberated.
Very good, thank you. Now, in the translation, this Prabhu read, if you remember, Krishna says, the whole world does not know me. Did it bother you that how can one will know him then? Anyone has an answer? Krishna says, nobody knows me. Then how one will know him?
If we go above these three modes, then.
Very good, wonderful. That's 18.55. Bhagavad Gita, you will see Krishna says, you can know him. Bhakta mam abhijanati javanjasami tattata tato mam tattato gyatta vishwate tat anantaram. You can know him. In this verse, he says, Krishna says, nobody will know me. Why? Because three modes. But if you are in Sattvagun, you can cross. You can come to, like if you are at the door, you can enter the house. House is Shuddha Sattva, but Sattvagun is at the door. Try to always stay at the door so you can enter in Krishna's. You can approach Krishna. Okay, next one I ask Mataji.
One question, Prabhuji. Prabhuji,
Yeah.
so you have given example of the building for taking Bhagavad class, but this is a Krishna conscious thing itself, Krishna's thing. So therefore it is very easy for us to say the moment we hear, oh, okay, oh wow, wonderful, because we will learn about Krishna. But when we are thinking about some material things, like suppose you are saying someone is building a hospital, then the center is not Krishna, because then it is not reading of Bhagavatam. Of course, our mentality, devotees' mentality, will be serving devotees. Maybe it will help devotees, something like that. But we are always in this duality of different modes of nature. I mean, we are not, even if we are focusing on Satya Gun, we will also have to we will have to think about the monetary. Okay, how much expenditure, then we will come, we have to, right? How can we say that okay, only we are thinking about, mode of goodness? Because we also have to see, okay, how many laborers will be there, who will be the cleaning this, and we also have to think that what is the financial, we have to see the administrative. So how do we do that then?
It's very easy. If you stay in Suddha Sattva, like Prabhupada, then you can engage the conscious being, whatever the Rajagun mixed, you can ask him to go collect. And I have a many example, but it will take a long time. When Prabhupada asked this Prabhu, he became a sannyasi later. He actually did something was not proper, stealing diamond from his shop. Anyway, I wouldn't say it. But he did it for Prabhupada in that sense. So it is all okay, but Rajagun was there predominating, and Prabhupada expressed that. So you can engage, because everybody is under three modes. But those who are in the Bhagavad Gita class, I'm talking, you try to get out of three modes. So you can engage the modes contaminated those soul in Krishna consciousness, so they can slowly get out. Just like if a sannyasi is thinking to make the money for temple, he has to open a restaurant. No. He has to find somebody who has the inclination of making money, Rajagun mentality, and engage him to do that restaurant so temple can be maintained. This is the art. It makes sense?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you. So text 14.
Text 14. Daivi hiesha gunamai mama maya durattaya mame vaye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. This divine energy of mine, consisting of three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who are surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Hare Krishna.
Go ahead with the purport halfway, please.
Okay, Prabhu. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has innumerable energies, and all these energies are divine. Although the living entities are part of his energy and are therefore divine, due to contact with material energy, their original superior power is covered. Being thus covered by material energy, one cannot possibly overcome its influence. As previously stated, both the material and spiritual nature, being emanations from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are eternal. The living entity belongs to the eternal superior nature of the Lord, but due to contamination by the inferior energy, matter, their illusion is also eternal. The conditioned soul is therefore called Nitya Baddha, or eternally conditioned. No one can trace out the history of his becoming conditioned at a certain date in material 1 minute in material history. Consequently, his release from the clutches of material nature is very difficult, even though that material nature is an inferior energy, because material energy is ultimately conducted by the supreme will, which the living entity cannot overcome. Inferior material energy is defined herein as divine nature due to its divine connection and movement by the divine will. Being conducted by divine will, material nature, although inferior, acts so wonderfully in the construction and destruction of the cosmic manifestation. The Vedas confirm in this follows Mayam
Tu
tu
prakritim vidwan mayeyanam tu mahesharam.
Although Maya, illusion, is false or temporary, the background of Maya is the supreme magician, the personality of Godhead, who is Maheshwara, the supreme controller. Shweta
Thank you.
Upanishad.
Thank you. Mother, no. Nilambari Radha Devidasi, I believe.
Yes,
Is she
Prabhu.
there?
Okay. You want me to read the next paragraph?
Rest of the purport, please.
Okay. Another meaning of guna is rope. It is to be understood that the conditioned soul is tightly tied by the rope of illusion. A man bound by the hands and feet cannot free himself. He must be helped by a person who is unbound. Because the bound cannot help the bound, the rescuer must be liberated. Therefore, only Lord Krishna or his bona fide representative, the spiritual master, and can release the conditioned soul. Without such superior help, one cannot be freed from the bondage of material nature. Devotional service or Krishna consciousness can help one gain such release Krishna be, from the bondage of material nature. Sorry. Release Krishna, being the Lord of the illusory energy, can, or, can order this insurmountable energy to release the conditioned soul. He orders the release out of his causeless mercy on the surrendered soul and out of his parental affection for the living entity who is originally beloved Son of the Lord. Therefore, surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord is the only means to get free from the clutches of the stringent material nature. Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Thank you. You can
Oh,
continue
sorry,
and finish it. Son.
sorry, Prabhu. Sorry, I will continue. Sorry. The the words the words man, Eva are also significant. Sorry, the word Mam Eva are also significant. Mam means unto Krishna, Vishnu only, and not Brahma or Shiva. Although Brahma and Shiva are greatly elevated and are almost on the level of Vishnu, it is not possible for such incarnation of Rajoguna, passion, and Tamoguna, ignorance, to release the conditioned soul from the clutches of Maya. In other words, both Brahma and Shiva are also under the influence of Maya. Only Vishnu is the master of Maya. Therefore, he alone can give release to the conditioned soul. The Vedas, Svetasvatara Upanishad 3.8 confirm this in the phrase tam eva viditva, or freedom is possible only by understanding Krishna. Even Lord Shiva affirms that liberation can be achieved only by the mercy of Vishnu. Lord Shiva says, Mukti Pradata
Pradata Sarvesham
Sarvesham
Vishnu.
Vishnu Eva Na Samshaya. There is no doubt that Vishnu is the deliverer or liberation for everyone. Deliverer of liberation for everyone. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Next, Ramacharan Das. Prabhu, can you read?
Which one, Prabhu?
Text 15.
Namam dushkritano mudha prapadante naradhama maya apratagyana asuram bhavam ashrita. Translation: those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake to the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. You want me to go purport, Prabhu?
Yeah, first paragraph, please. Go ahead.
Report by Srila Prabhupada. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that simply by surrendering oneself unto the lotus feet of Supreme Personality, Krishna, one can surmount the stringent laws of material nature. At this point, a question arises. How is it that educated philosophers, scientists, businessmen, administrators, and all the leaders of ordinary man do not surrender to the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, the all-powerful personality of Godhead? Mukti, or liberation from the laws of material nature, is sought by the leaders of mankind in different ways and with great plans and perseverance for a great many years and births. But if that liberation is possible by simply surrendering unto the lotus feet of Supreme Personality Godhead, then why don't these intelligent and hardworking leaders adopt this simple method?
Okay, you can read the answer. The next paragraph is the answer. Go ahead.
Okay. The Gita answers this question very frankly. Those really learned leaders of society like Brahma, Shiva, Kapila, the Kumaras, Manu, Vyasa, Devala, Asita, Janaka, Prahlad, Bali, and later on Madhvacharya, Ramanacharya, Sri Chaitanya, and many others who are faithful philosophers, politicians, educators, scientists, etc., surrender to the lotus feet of the Supreme Person, the all-powerful authority. Those who are not actually philosophers, scientists, educators, administrators, etc., but who pose themselves as such for material gain, do not accept the plan or path of the Supreme Lord. They have no idea of God. They simply manufacture their own worldly plans and consequently complicate the problems of material existence in their vain attempt to solve them. Because material energy, nature is so powerful, it can assist the unauthorized plans of atheists and baffle the knowledge of planning commissions.
Very good. Mother Apurva Shakti Devi Dasi, and next is Madhava Sevaka Prabhu.
Yes. The atheistic plan makers are described herein by the word dushkritinaha, or miscreants. Kriti means one who has performed meritorious work. The atheist plan maker is sometimes very intelligent and meritorious also, because any gigantic plan, good or bad, must take intelligence to execute. But because the atheist brain is improperly utilized in opposing the plan of the Lord, the atheistic plan maker is called dushkriti, which indicates that his intelligence and efforts are misdirected. In the Gita, it is clearly mentioned that material energy works fully under the direction of the Supreme Lord. It has no independent authority. It works as the shadow moves in accordance with the movements of the object. But still, material energy is very powerful, and the atheist, due to his godless temperament, cannot know how it works, nor can he know the plan of the Supreme Lord. Under illusion and the modes of passion and ignorance, all his plans are baffled, as in the case of Hiranyakashipu and Ravan, whose plans were smashed to dust, although they were both materially learned as scientists, philosophers, administrators, and educators. These dushkritinas, or miscreants, are of 4 patterns as outlined below.
Very good. Who is next?
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Okay,
The
and the
Moodhas.
next will be Brihad Nath Das. Go ahead, Prabhu.
The Moodhas are those who are grossly foolish, like hard-working beasts of burden. They want to enjoy the fruits of their labor by themselves, and so do not want to part with them for the Supreme. The typical example of the beast of burden is the ass. This humble beast is made to work very hard by his master. The ass does not really know for whom he works so hard day and night. He remains satisfied by filling his stomach with a bundle of grass, sleeping for a while under fear of being beaten by the master, and satisfying his sex appetite at the risk of being repeatedly kicked by the opposite party. The ass sings poetry and philosophy sometimes, but this braying sound only disturb others. This is the position of the foolish fruitive worker who does not know for whom he should work. He does not know that karma, action, is meant for yagna, sacrifice. Most often, those who work very hard day and night to clear the burden of self created duties say that they have no time to hear of the immorality of the living being. To such mudhas, material gains, which are destructible, are life all in all, despite the fact that the mudhas enjoy only a very small fraction of the fruit of labor. Sometimes they spend sleepless days and nights for fruitive gains, and although they may have ulcers or indigestions, they are satisfied with the practically no food. They are simply absorbed in working hard day and night for the benefit of illusory masters, ignorant of their real master. The foolish worker wastes their valuable time serving mammon. Unfortunately, they never surrender to the supreme master of all masters, nor do they take time to hear of him from the proper sources. The swine who eat the night soil do not care to accept sweet meats made of sugar and ghee. Similarly, the foolish worker will unwittingly continue to hear of the sense enjoyable tidings of the flickering mundane world, but will have very little time to hear about the eternal living force that moves the material world.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Next is Brihadnath Prabhu and then Mother Priya Gopi.
Hare Krishna. Another class of Dushkriti or miscreant is called the Naradhma, or the lowest of mankind. Nara means human being and Adhma means the lowest. Out of the 84 lakh different species of living beings, there are 4 lakh human species. Out of these, there are numerous lower forms of human life that are mostly uncivilized. The civilized human beings are those who have regulative principles of social, political, and religious life. Those who are socially and politically developed but who have no religious principles must be considered Naradhmas. Nor is religion without God religion, because the purpose of following religious principles is to know the supreme truth and man's relation with him. In the Gita, the personality of Godhead clearly states that there is no authority above him and that he is the supreme truth. The civilized form of human life is meant for man's reviving the lost consciousness of his eternal relation with the supreme truth, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who is all powerful. Whoever loses this chance is classified as a Naradhma. We get information from revealed scriptures that when the baby is in the mother's womb, an extremely uncomfortable situation, he prays to God for deliverance and promises to worship him alone as soon as he gets out. To pray to God when he is in difficulty is a natural instinct in every living being because he is eternally related with God. But after his deliverance, the child forgets the difficulties of birth and forgets his deliverer also, being influenced by Maya, the illusory energy. It is the duty of the guardians of the children to revive the divine consciousness dormant in them. The 10 processes of reformatory ceremonies, as enjoined in the Manusmriti, which is the guide to religious principles, are meant for reviving God consciousness in the system of Varnashram. However, no process is strictly followed now in any part of the world, and therefore 99.9% of the population is Naradhma. When the whole population becomes Naradhma, naturally all their so-called education is made null and void by the all-powerful energy of physical nature. According to the standard of the Gita, A learned man is he who sees on equal terms the learned Brahmana, the dog, the cow, the elephant, and the dog eater. That is the vision of a true devotee. Sri Nityanand Prabhu, who is the incarnation of Godhead as divine master, delivered the typical Naradmas, the brothers Jagai and Madai, and showed how the mercy of a real devotee is bestowed upon the lowest of mankind. So the Naradma, who is condemned by the personality of Godhead, can again revive his spiritual consciousness only by the mercy of a devotee. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in propagating the Bhagavad Dharma or activities of the devotees, has recommended that people submissively hear the message of the personality of Godhead. The essence of this message is Bhagavad Gita. The lowest amongst human beings can be delivered by this submissive hearing process only. But unfortunately, they even refuse to give an oral reception to these messages. And what to speak of surrendering to the will of the Supreme Lord. Naradmas are the lowest of mankind, willfully neglect the prime duty of the human being.
Very good. Thank you, Prabhu. Next, Mother Priya Gopi, right?
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
And then next is Madhava Sevika. Go ahead.
Then, okay. The next class of Dushkriti is called Maya Apratyajnana, or those persons whose erudite knowledge has been nullified by the influence of illusionary material energy. They are mostly very learned fellows, great philosophers, poets, literati, scientists, etc. But the illusionary energy misguides them, and therefore they disobey the Supreme Lord. There are a great number of Maya Apratyajnanas at the present moment, even amongst the scholars of the Bhagavad Gita. In the Gita, in plain and simple language, it is said that Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no equal to or greater than him. He is mentioned as the father of Brahma, the original father of all the human beings. In fact, Sri Krishna is said to be not only the father of Brahma, but also the father of all species of life. He is the root of the impersonal Brahman and Paramatma. The super soul in every entity is his plenary portion. He is a fountainhead of everything, and everyone is advised to surrender onto his lotus feet. Despite all these clear statements, the Maya Apratyajnana deride the personality of the Supreme Lord and consider him merely another human being. They do not know that the blessed form of human life is designed after the eternal and transcendental feature of the Supreme Lord. All the unauthorized interpretations of the Gita by the class of Maya Apratyajnana outside the purview of the Parampara system are so many stumbling blocks on the path of spiritual understanding. The deluded interpreters do not surrender onto the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, nor do they teach others to follow this principle.
Very good. Next.
Should I continue, Prabhuji?
No, next person, who is that? Madhava Sevika Mataji, right?
Okay. Yes, Prabhu. The last class of Duskriti is called Ashura Abhava Atiraha, or those who are the demonic principles. This class is openly atheist. Some of them are argue with the Supreme Lord can never descend upon this material world, but they are unable to give any tangible reasons as to why not. They are others who make him subordinate to the impersonal feature. Although the opposite of declared in the Gita, envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the atheist will present a number of illicit incarnation manufactured in the factory of his brain. Such persons, those very principle of life is to declare the personality of Godhead cannot surrender unto the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Sri Yamunacharya Ala Bandhura of South India said, "O my Lord, you are unknowable to persons involved with atheist principle, that despite your uncommon qualities, features, and activities, despite your personality being unconfirmed by all the revealed scriptures in the quality of godness, and despite your being acknowledged by the famous authorities renowned for their depth of knowledge in the transcendental science and situated in the godly qualities. Therefore,
Thank you. Oh, yes, please go on.
Therefore, first, grossly foolish person, the lowest of mankind. Third, the deluded speculator. And fourth, the professed atheist, as above mentioned, never surrender unto the lotus feet of personality of Godhead in the spite of all scriptures and authoritative advice.
Wonderful. Thank you. So what did you understand so far? After I finish, Mother Shyamala Gopika, I hope she didn't read before, right? You can read, please, text 16 and then Mother Priyanka Raichand. So if you can just remember this back of your head, always 4 types of people do not surrender. Be careful, you can work with them, you can live with them, but do not ever give your heart to them. Like your thinking, feeling, willing, do not. Because it will pull you down too. So who are the 4? In a short, in 1 minute you can say it. First, one is Mura. First of all, Duskritana means they are not dummy. They could be bright, very intelligent people also, scientists like this. They can be. They have a meritorious, but it is not according to the plan of Krishna. Krishna's plan, my finger like this is Krishna's plan. And this is their intelligence. And they go opposite direction. They may be genius and other, but they are not aligned with Krishna. Those who are aligned with Krishna, the next sloka will say, this actually most of the devotees coming in the beginning like that. So who are those 4 that not aligned with Krishna's plan? Mura. Mura and the Prabhu read, it's kind of like a animalistic beast life. They work very hard and they really believe. Even one of my cousin told me one time, long time back, that hard work will pay off everything. Everything else is useless. Only hard work is required. I say, why in America everybody is not a Bill Gates? Why Bill Gates is only one? If some people are working harder than Bill Gates. He said, oh, you want to just put it Krishna consciousness. I said, no, this is the reality. So, but they believe, really they believe. The hard work will be the essence of everything. And Prabhupada gives the example like an ass. And ass has 2 things. His enjoyment with the senses, and he does not know who is working for. Sometimes it ever happened that even amongst Indian or Russian or American, that you find a man or person, you talk, after a while you think, oh my God, this guy has no clue. He's working so hard. Now all of a sudden a heart attack is going to die, but he has no idea who he worked for. He did not even work for himself. They are in that category. Second is Naradhama. Naradhama means they could be social activist, political, but they're Naradhama, lowest of the men. So how do we give a little identity on them? That they even can be delivered. Prabhupada gave the example of Nityananda Prabhu delivered Jagai and Madhai. They could be contacting to spiritual like Jagai Madhai. You know Jagai Madhai, they used to do study Shastra like us every day. But every day Jagai would say, oh look, this demon did this kind of murder. We didn't do that. Let's go. Stop the book today. We'll do the murder like that. And the next day they will find a new case. So they also study Shastra. But what they take out of Shastra is the question. There are a lot of people will come to reading books, spiritual books. But what they take out of it is the question. They come to this category. The third category is Maya Aparito Jnana. Maya Aparito Jnana means they have intelligence, but it's covered. It's stolen means that it's covered. They cannot see it. Even though they are genius, like a scientist, Prabhupada said, erudite scholar, Shakespeare, I mean, list goes on. And they will even come to Bhagavad Gita, like Dr. Radhakrishnan. Well, I should not have said the name, I generally don't say the name. But Prabhupada mentioned that. Prabhupada was so kind. Prabhupada actually wrote him a letter. He said, why don't you come and preach Bhagavad Gita with us? And Prabhupada smashed him before, but he also invited him. But then he got sick and he could not even speak before he died, and then he passed away. And he is the one that Prabhupada mentioned many times, that he gave the interpretation that it is God in the body of Krishna speaking through Krishna. Wow, sounds like a genius. No, stupid. His intelligence is stolen. Krishna and his body, his word, his hair, like my hair, if I throw it outside and somebody smash on it, shoot a gun on it, I have no connection with it. I will never feel. But Krishna's hair, Krishna's nail, Krishna's body, Krishna's mind, Krishna, all one substance, not two or three. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained this. Nama Vigraha Sarup, Tina Eka Rup, Tine Bhede Nahi Tin Chidananda Rup. You have to check your heart, how much faith you have when you look at the deity. This is Satchidananda form or marble. If you have that strong faith, that marble deity will talk to you. You don't have a strong faith, you think it's from Jaipur, somebody carved. The question is raised that we should all know how deity manifests in this world. In a simple sentence, I'll tell you, through your bhakti, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains this in Jaiva Dharma, through your bhakti, when consciousness is purified completely, then you're thinking about Krishna, you are aware of Krishna's vibhuti, Krishna's presence in your life, Krishna's presence through the sound right now. I'm speaking to you, how Krishna is here. Srila Prabhupada said you try to see Krishna as an interdependent. Can you remember that? I don't know Hindi or Bengali of that. Interdependent, what does that mean? I'm speaking. How am I speaking? I'm only willing, that's all. Krishna reminds what I need to speak. That's Krishna there. Then Pracheta, who controls the tongue, vibrating. One demigod called Pracheta. Then the Pavandev, he's carrying this in the air. Through this computer, Zoom. And from there, the sun god, who the Zoom in charge, ultimate in charge is sun god, fire god, Bondi, he carries your computer or your sound system wherever you are. Through the sun god, you are seeing my face, I'm seeing your face. It is not the eye seeing it. Eye is only a Rajagun product. All the senses are Rajagun products. Object are product of Tamagun. And the sense perception to see, ability to see is Sattvagun. And these three things are controlled by Krishna. We just read previous verse. Can you see this interdependent? And even when the sound went to your place, it's not that you are hearing it. Your ear is a product of Rajagun. Ear has a ear drum inside. Drummer makes it drum sound. Pran Govinda Das speaking. Then it connects with the brain where the Sattvagun is connected. And then it has to have an imprint, what I'm speaking, it has some imprint in your brain. If it is not there, you will not get it. You'll say, what is talking? Some foreign language, I don't even know what it is. Means everything that you understand. Understanding, the word understand means you have to examine and comprehend. Srila Prabhupada says, oh, we should always remember, understand means stand under. Means under Guru's mercy, we can grasp it. So then you will be able to grasp it. See how many people involved in between just I'm talking and you hearing. My willingness, the demigod Pracheta, the demigod air god, then the fire god, then the sun god, and then Dikpal, who controls your ear. Hearing perception is called Dikpal. And then it goes to the brain, Saptagun, Maya's involved, and then it has to have an imprint, previous impression, and then the sense perception has to come from Saptagun, that, oh, I see, oh, I hear. All these people are involved. How? Because Krishna, he is in the form of Paramatma, is conducting all the time. So you be loyal to him. This is how we see. This is called interdependence. So you are aware. So those whose intelligence is stolen, they are called Maya Paritagana. And the number 4 is Asuram Bhavam Ashrita. Asuram Bhavam Ashrita means they professed atheist. They're envious. They even create their own illicit incarnations. They will come with the idea of, even Hiranyakashipu, if anybody read Bhagavatam, I'm sure you did, 7 canto, 2nd chapter, Hiranyakashipu gave a beautiful speech. It's almost like, I should not say it, but I felt like better than Bhagavad Gita, that chapter, even though it's spoken by demon. And it's very graphic. Prabhupada gave big purport. It's true what he says. But at the end of the conclusion, he says that God who lost his merciful nature, took shelter of Maya, got a body of a pig and killed my brother, Hiranyaksha. I'm going to kill and with his blood do the last rites of my brother. Wow, he speaks such a high philosophy. How come his conclusion is this? This is called the 4th category. And you will meet them. Be very careful. Who you associate, you will be contaminated. If it is good, you will get good. If it is bad association, you cannot escape from it. Okay, text 16. We're running out of time too. Mother, who is supposed to read? Mother Shyamala.
Shloka and translation. Chaturvita bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuna arto jekya surartarti gyani cha paradarshava. O best among the Bharatas, 4 kind of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me: the distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for the knowledge of the Absolute.
Please read the first paragraph also.
Okay. Unlike the miscreants, these are the adherents of the regulative principles of the scriptures, and they are called Sukritinaha, or those who obey the rules and regulations of scriptures, the moral and the social laws, and are more or less devoted to the Supreme Lord. Out of these, there are 4 classes of men: those who are sometimes distressed, those who are in need of money, those who are sometimes inquisitive, and those who are sometimes searching after knowledge of the absolute truth. These persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service under different conditions. These are not pure devotees because they have some aspirations to fulfill in exchange for the devotional service. Pure devotional service is without aspirations and without desire for material profit. The Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11 defines pure devotion thus: Anya Bilashita Sonyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam Bhakti Uttama.
I request everyone, if you ever inquire what is pure love, what is pure definition of love or pure bhakti, this is the only verse. You have to chew it, taste it like a candy every day. I hope you memorize this, every word of it. This verse supersedes all other verses on bhakti, definition of bhakti by Rupa Goswami Pad. Anna vilasita sunyam. You can chew it. This is actually the most, the whole Bhagavad Gita beginning, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu beginning with Krishna's form, but it's culminated with this. Okay, next. Mother Priyanka Raichand, and then I cannot see any other name. There must be some other. Rohini, someone. Okay. Yes, Mother Priyanka.
Yes, when these four kinds of persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service and are completely
Sorry,
purified.
I didn't read the translation of that, so you can continue from there.
Okay, yeah. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. This is called pure devotional service. When these four kinds of persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service and are completely purified by the association of a pure devotee, they also become pure devotees. As far as the miscreants are concerned, for them devotional service is very difficult because their lives are selfish, irregular, and without spiritual goals. But even some of them, by chance, when they come in contact with the pure devotee, also become pure devotees. Those who are always busy with fruitive activities come to the Lord in material distress and at that time associate with pure devotees and become, in their distresses, devotees of the Lord. Those who are simply frustrated also come sometimes to associate with the pure devotees and become inquisitive to know about God. Similarly, when the dry philosophers are frustrated in every field of knowledge, they sometimes want to learn of God and they come to the Supreme Lord to render devotional service and thus transcend knowledge of the impersonal Brahman and the localized Paramatma and come to the personal conception of Godhead by the grace of the Supreme Lord or his pure devotee. On the whole, when the distressed, the inquisitive, the seekers of knowledge, and those who are in need of money are free from all material desires, and when they fully understand that material remuneration has nothing to do with spiritual improvement, they become pure devotees. As long as such a purified stage is not attained, devotees in transcendental service to the Lord are tainted with fruitive activities, the search for mundane knowledge, etc. So one has to transcend all this before one can come to the stage of pure devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Who is speaking? Who is reading next?
It's me, Prabhuji, Rohini.
Okay,
Radha
just
Rohini
hold on to it. I'm just going to touch a little bit on this. This is a very key point because these four types of God approacher are most of the devotee, 99% devotee that in our movement coming are those. Our goal is becoming pure devotee, or maybe most of you are already pure devotee, or we should encourage, inspire others to become pure devotee. So when we practice bhakti, we need to understand what factors can stimulate our bhakti steadily and what intermittently. Let's analyze for just for a couple minutes. Sometimes we turn towards Krishna. Ask yourself, I'm not talking a philosophy, I'm talking about your life, each individual life. When you came to bhakti or before you came to bhakti, when you turn towards Krishna, what do you face? When someone comes to Krishna, literally. One group is when they have a trouble tribulations. I don't feel good, or my relationship is not going well. You know, I'm just tired of life. I don't know what to do. I'm confused. I don't have a job. Okay, we'll go to temple or we'll approach. This is reality, practical. So when we face tribulation, as Bhagavad Gita 16, we just read, though distress may impel us to start practicing bhakti or approach Krishna, I really want you to remember this. It cannot sustain your bhakti practice. That's why you see some people are fired up for a few years, few months or decades, and you don't know what happened. They disappear or they are not doing it. How is possible? So we can examine in our heart. If your approach Krishna or growing in Krishna consciousness based on your tribulation condition, it will not sustain. Even though distress may impel us to start practicing Krishna consciousness, it cannot sustain our bhakti practice. Question is, why not? Because during our life course, distress may come and go unpredictably. If we go through a relatively trouble-free phase, we may question, why do I need to practice bhakti? It's very true. I saw this young couple. They say, we're doing well. Why do we have to chant every day? I mean, we're doing well. We have a good job. We're having a wonderful life. It never happened to you? When you have a wonderful life, you ever wonder, why do we have to be serious right now? We have everything, nice house, nice car, nice job, nice money, nice everything. Why do I have to be serious? This type of thought comes. Conversely, if despite our bhakti practice, our problem remain, then again we may question, what am I gaining by chanting every day, Prabhu? Either question can slow, even stop our practice. From a, I would say, practicality, I'm speaking. Then there is another group. Oh, Prabhu, I feel so good nowadays. Yeah, I like to chant. I like to go to temple. I like to read Bhagavad Gita, fired up. I just, my mind, I like it. I like it. We may start practicing also bhakti because it feels good. Oh, that house, we had a program, nice prasadam. I like it. Please call me whenever there is a program because I like it. It's good. However, that good feeling is unpredictable. For it usually arises from a fickle mind whose mood swings suddenly and wildly from divine to demoniac. Hey Prabhu, oh Mataji, you are all fired up. What happened? Today is a great sadhu came, sannyasi came, they will have a program. Oh, my cousin came from out of town, Prabhu. We'll come next time. Because we need to watch a movie. My cousin said we didn't watch movies since childhood. How can I go to temple and sadhu? It's important to take your cousin. Come on, right? You understand me, right? That's how we convince. I'm saying this actually happened. That's why I remember those. During its lower mood, the mind may taste in bhakti seems distance, even delusional. So emotion, please remember this, emotion can at best stimulate bhakti only sporadically. The third point, so first one was, everybody remembers? Due to tribulation, COVID-19. You know what? We have to chant, we have to be serious. This is terrible. Whole world has a problem. People are dying. Okay, let's chant quick. but this will not sustain. It's good. I'm not saying anything wrong, but this is not how bhakti sustain. I'm talking about sustenance. Third category is a conviction. I'm relating these words to your life, to our life. Conviction. We can best sustain our devotion by conviction. Please remember this. The conviction that Krishna is everything. 7.19 will come in few minutes. You will see that Krishna is going to reveal that he is everything. He is the source of supreme shelter. He is the supreme pleasure. That he is all attractive source of everything attractive. End of 10th chapter, you'll see Krishna says, you like a girl, you like a boy, you like a soccer game, football, whatever. It's Krishna actually. You just cannot see it. But Krishna said this. Jajjat vibhuti mat sattam simat urjitam evava. Whatever attraction you find in this world, it is actually Krishna. But if you cannot see it, you will fall into Maya. We can gain this conviction by regularly studying the Gita in the association of those who love and live the Gita. Who you associate to grow? Who love Gita and who live Gita. So empowered with such intellectual conviction, we practice bhakti determinedly, seeking not to avoid trouble or to feel good, but only to lovingly connect with Krishna. So I'll end with this. As our connection with him purifies us, we start perceiving and relishing his supreme attractiveness. I hope everybody can apply this in your life. Okay, who is reading next?
It's me, Prabhuji, Rohini, Radha
Yes.
Rohini Priyadevi Dasi.
Yes, Mata. Go ahead. And after you will be Pallik. Who will be after you? I didn't see. Somebody didn't read. Maybe you can just read. I cannot see everybody's name in my computer. It's a small computer. Okay. Go ahead. I can't hear.
Audible?
Okay. Now I can.
तेषां ज्ञानि नित्ययुक्ता एक भक्तिर्विशिष्यते प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनोत्यर्थम् अहं सा च मम प्रियः. Translation. Of these, the one who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best. For I am very dear to him and he is dear to me. Shall I read purport also?
Yes, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Purport. Free from all contaminations of material desires, the distressed, the inquisitive, the penniless, and the seeker after supreme knowledge can all become pure devotees. But out of them, he who is in knowledge of the absolute truth and free from all material desires becomes a really pure devotee of the Lord. And of the four orders, the devotee who is in full knowledge and is at the same time engaged in devotional service is, the Lord says, the best. By searching after knowledge, one realizes that his self is different from his material body. And when further advanced, he comes to the knowledge of impersonal Brahman and Paramatma. When one is fully purified, he realizes that his constitutional position is to be the eternal servant of God. So by association with pure devotees, the inquisitive, the distressed, the seeker after material amelioration, and the man in knowledge all become themselves pure. But in the preparatory stage, the man who is in full knowledge of the Supreme Lord and is at the same time executing devotional service is very dear to the Lord. He who is situated in pure knowledge of the transcendence of the Supreme Personality of God is so protected in devotional service that material contamination cannot touch him. Hare Krishna.
Very good. So I have a question. You may face, or maybe you yourself ask that question. Those who don't think Krishna conscious philosophy, do they live without philosophy? No,
it
they
becomes a sentiment. It's a sentiment.
They live, very good. They live with an unthought philosophy. This is very important. It's not we are making a conscious choice to understand Krishna consciousness philosophy. If you are not interested in philosophy, you are still going to be into philosophy, but it is unthought philosophy. You cannot stop thinking. Try to understand this. It is not like, oh my God, we have to learn all these things. Prabhu, either you learn this or you learn garbage. That's the only difference. You choose. Material nature will bombard with all these unnecessary things. You're not looking for. It will take over. Because when I ask sometimes, even a devotee will say, oh, I'm not interested so much about learning. I'm interested only in the here and now, a little bit here, once a week or something every 3 days for an hour. Once a month we'll meet. Okay, Prabhu, is that good enough? We think like this. In the visible, in the tangible. I'm not interested in philosophy. Sometimes devotee will feel like that. Even outsider, always they feel like this. But I really want you to understand this verse is giving a clue. We all have some philosophy. Please remember this. In a non-technical sense, philosophy refers to our worldview. We all have some way of looking at the world, isn't? Whether you look through Bhagavad Gita or you look through your own inference. For most of us, that way is probably contemporary culture's default philosophy called materialism. What does that mean? Which holds that matter is all that exists. How much money you have, how good health you have, how big house you have, that's all it matters. These words, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is stating that such materialists believe that sensual gratification is life's ultimate purpose. Dismissing philosophy for dealing with invisible, abstract, remote concepts, materials claim to enjoy only tangible, visible things. Actually, however, even for enjoying the visible, they rely on the invisible. Do you know that? You literally think very deeply. I thought about it. For enjoying sensual pleasure, they use technology, isn't? And technology is based on science, which operates by looking beyond visible phenomenon to invisible theoretical constructs to explain those phenomena. The more advanced the science, the more abstract are its theoretical constructs. Let's give an example of quantum physics, because we have few devotees in the temple. They study this. Quantum physics makes no sense in terms of visible. So even within a materialistic worldview, the visible is inextricably linked with the invisible. So when we uncritically default to such an internally inconsistent form of materialism, we end up with unthought philosophy. My dear mothers and Prabhus, please deeply think. It is a so fact. Unthought, not in the sense that no one has ever thought of it before, but in the sense that we have not arrived at it through careful thinking. Given that we cannot live without philosophy, it is better to think carefully about it. What is Bhagavad Gita offering to us? Think. Bhagavad Gita offers a majestic, God-centered spiritual philosophy that explains both the visible and the invisible worlds, as well as their interrelation. Additionally, I would say, it provides time-honored guidelines for living harmoniously in the first day I mentioned, in the visible world, and progressing towards the invisible world, Krishna Loka, spiritual world, wherein are fulfilled forever our deepest aspiration for enduring meaning and joy. Now you may say, Prabhu, we learned so many things, but we cannot retain. You ever ask that question to yourself, or is it just me? Oh, I heard so many things in life. You know, when I was 10 years old, I heard one Maharaj say something. I don't remember anything. It was so nice, but I forgot what it was. Well, there is a secret, I tell you, something. This is Jiva Goswami Pad gives. That Jiva Goswami Pad says, he gave an example. There was a rich man who had so much wealth, and he didn't, and the neighbor was so poor, some people died out of poverty, but the rich man would not share his own wealth. So next life, he was given a body of a mango tree with a nice mangoes, but not even a birds or anything would come and eat. So then he was given a chance and to remember that he was a rich man last life. Generally, trees are not given like this. Trees are the lowest tamagun bari. So then he inquired to the sage, how is that I'm given a mango tree, but nobody's coming? He said, because you are such a miser. You never shared your wealth when you are rich. It is proving here in this body of mango that because you did not want to share, nobody wants to come to take it from you. How do you feel? He said, it's horrible. What is the value of life of mango tree if people are not enjoying the mango? So anyway, the Jiva Goswami Pad says that while you are learning this, if you want to retain in your heart whatever you're learning, try to share it today. At least 3 people. Share it with your children, mother, father, friends, whoever it is. But when you share it, make sure you share it the way that they can receive it. Don't be harsh. You know what? You better listen to me what I learned today. That is not Krishna recommended. 17.15, Krishna says 5 things. 4 things, but Prabhupada in the translation, he put 5 things. First thing Prabhupada said, you have to do austerity, means you have to think, what can I tell Ram Shyama Prabhu that he will listen me? You can smile at Ram Shyama Prabhu. Prabhu, how are you? Hey, you are so wonderful devotee. He already will pay attention. If your purpose is to relate the message to another person, make sure you never accuse. Why? Tat Srinu, the first word. Because if you accuse somebody, their hearing perception, Shattagun, is blocked by Rajagun. I studied about these 3 modes. And when Rajagun blocked the perception, you can say so many good things, but because you accuse them in the beginning, after 5 minutes, after 1 hour, after 1 year, let's other person ask, did you hear what your father wanted to say or your mother wanted to say? So many nice things. No, I don't. He or she was angry. That's all they will remember. So there is an art, Krishna says in 17:15, Bhagavad Gita, how to speak or deliver the message. And you can see Prabhupada was so genius on it. Sattam priyam hitam chajat. Beautiful verse you can read. So anyway, it's a 10:26. I am worried about our progress. We are up till 17 and tomorrow is supposed to be the end and the chapter is still 30. So tomorrow I'm thinking just to summarize the rest, if it is all okay. And if you have any question, we can discuss, we can have a more conversation. Will that be better or anybody has any suggestion?
If you have, you can give the important points in them. So we, the whole chapter, the whole text wise, you can give the important points so we don't miss those points.
Okay, that will be nice. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, we have another 2 days for this chapter. As we can see, yes, Prabhuji, if we can see in the handbook.
Oh, okay.
Till Saturday, today is Thursday, so Friday and Saturday we have 2 days for this chapter.
Okay, then we'll finish very nicely. Thank you. You gave me some relief. So what we learned today that, or maybe tomorrow we'll discuss, is Krishna our problem solver? You're going to answer. This is just my question. Tomorrow we'll start with that. Now I would like to ask you if you have any question or some reflection or something you're going to take with you. Please reveal to me what you're taking today from today's discussion.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, actually.
Oh, can somebody control? Maybe you can
just
all
check
mute.
the Excel.
Prabhu, according to the handbook, tomorrow only one day we have for this 7th chapter.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Someone just said 2 days.
No, Prabhu, only tomorrow we have.
And from Saturday we need to start from 8th chapter. But I just felt, Prabhu, if no, we can cover it. If you can cover the portion within the days that you have been given, so you can still continue the explanation of this chapter like this, and then you can summarize.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate your suggestion. So who would like to share what you're going to take with you today? As I mentioned to you, 3 things required. Please keep it in your heart. 3 things. Always appreciate the facilitator. The IBM, ISKCON Bhagavad Mahavidyalaya, Srila Prabhupada, who translated the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, who spoke Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna, who listened. Please glorify them. You must do this every day. If you want to retain this knowledge in your heart, 3 things you must do. The first thing is you appreciate the facilitator. Facilitator doesn't mean only ISKCON Bhagavad Mahavidyalaya. It is Krishna first, who spoke. Arjuna, who listened. Vyasdev, who wrote it down for us. Then Srila Prabhupada, who translated. And then ISKCON Bhagavad Mahavidyalaya, who is allowing us to have this. So that's one. This whole thing is one. Means appreciating. You feel an attitude to be grateful. Maintain a grateful attitude. Sorry?
And you, Prabhuji, who is imparting this knowledge to us.
I'm just serving Mata as a servant. You bless me, that will be good. And then second, you learn from each other, your devotee association, a skill. What is the important lesson and how to apply this in my life right now, today, until tomorrow. What I learned today, I'm going to apply this in my life. Let me see, from tonight, I'll talk to my spouse or my children or my parents or someone, these 5 principles that Krishna says, how to speak. First, you have to do austerity. What is austerity? What we will how I will present that they will respond positively. That's how Prabhupada put it. Means you have to speak to a person, even your enemy. It's okay if you feel somebody's enemy, but speak to a way that they will respond, that person will respond positively. Means you will appreciate Krishna consciousness for you. So that second. Third, you have to have a willingness to learn and be a receiver of this mercy. That has to come from you. I cannot help, nobody can help. Even Krishna will not help you. Oh no, sorry, I should not say that. Krishna can help you, but Krishna can not do it for you. Krishna can help Arjuna, but Krishna cannot fight for Arjuna. Arjuna has to fight for himself. So three things. Always, can somebody repeat what I mentioned just in a simple way? What are the three things to retain?
Appreciate the facilitator. Then second is learn from the association, learn what knowledge has been taught and how to apply it in our life. And the third is have willingness to learn, to be the appropriate receiver of the mercy.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Okay, some reflection, please.
Can I tell Prabhu?
Go ahead, Mata.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, the last point when you said we shouldn't accuse, even though, like, let's say, especially with the kids, they may do mistakes, but still the whole important is, my purpose is when I'm telling them, they have to listen. So you put yourself into their position. And like how you said, that immediately catch approach, because we all do that lot. I mean, at least me, I do that. I feel, oh, I'm not telling anything wrong. So they need to know. If I tell in a normal tone, then they won't understand. But then when you said that Sattva-guna shuts off, I'm like, oh, Krishna, I didn't know. So that was my one of the realizations today.
Very good. I hope everybody understood. Like if you want to deliver a message in a positive response, that your children or spouse, whoever it is, that you want to make sure that person understood what I am going through, or I'm feeling, or I want that person to learn. Do not ever accuse. You know, I don't like your behavior. Let me tell you. Oh, sorry, it's already gone. It's blocked. The moment you said, I don't like your whatever it is, anything negative, you really shut down that person's perceiving or hearing. It is an art. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, we should apply. So try it today with your whoever nearby. Say in such a way, don't do like over, like, oh, I love you. Like, that's not what it says. But way you say it, that the person actually draws attention and hears it. Then your service is done, job is done. Okay, this is very good. Something more?
So we are in three modes. Like
no,
there are
Mata, you cannot say it. You are already very intelligent. I want from somebody else. Because you are making note, you are very good. Don't take it, please, anyway. But you are very good. I appreciate that.
Thank
I want to hear from somebody I never heard last 3 days, 2 days. Otherwise, I'll call you. Either you raise or I'll call some name.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. First of all, I beg apologize that I passed the wrong message that we have 2 days for to cover seventh chapter. Sorry for that. It was my mistake. And today, my realization is that to achieve Krishna, we have to come out from the three modes of material nature. We have to come to the stage of Shuddha Sattva. That's all. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Very good. Thank you.
Hare
And
Krishna,
this Mataji said so nice thing. I like that. We have to come to Shuddha Sattva. She's trying to say also that in order to go to Shuddha Sattva, where do we have to stay? In order to enter the house, why do I have to come first? At the door. Sattvagun, very good. Sattvagun. Always try to stay for Sattvagun. Believe me, your spouse will love you more than before. After some time, you will see your parents, your children, everybody, they will love you more. Because Sattvagun may not see you immediately, but long run, you will see that how they change. Okay. Next.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mother.
Dandavat Pranam. Jai Srila Prabhupada. One thing I learned today, Prabhuji, is about the confidence that you spoke about, having faith. That when we are doing something, we should have faith on Krishna and ourselves too, so that when it works together, then we can work effectively and enthusiastically go towards Krishna consciousness. That
Very
was
good.
something good. And
Yes,
the
very
other
good. Very good. Very good. You have to have both. Very good.
And the other one was, like, as you said, it may take a decade to understand or realize that actually where our Krishna consciousness is actually coming from. Is it coming from distress, or is it coming from something else? Because if we really want to continue in our sadhana for Krishna consciousness and continue forever, we should have a good conviction. But I was confused here, Prabhuji, that that's a good thing to know that we need to have a conviction, but how to improve the conviction?
Very good. Very thoughtful question. Conviction comes from daily absorption on inner connection. Whether you're doing it or not doing it, while you chant, just be in front of Tulasi Devi or temple or deity, just look at Krishna's face. Even though it's just a painting or a deity, whatever, just absorb, just focus. You will be surprised. In 12.12, well, we will come when we come there, 12.12 Bhagavad Gita, it says it. Srehi jnanam abhasat jnanat dhenat vishishyate dhenat karma phalotegat tegat santi nirantaram. If you absorb, you actually destroy your previous karma impression in your heart right then and there. You'll be surprised how these things actually takes place. Sorry, my iPad just fell. Thank you. But anyway, so that is very important. We'll come on 12th chapter, we'll discuss that. But this is good. From inner connection through the sadhana, you'll get the absorption, and that's where the conviction, determination will come.
Thank
Very
you,
good.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Gautam Prabhu.
Prabhuji, we should associate with those who love Bhagavad Gita and live Bhagavad Gita.
Very good. Don't live with who goes to nightclub or not interested in. Very good. You got it, Prabhu. You have to love. You have to associate with those. Very nice. Thank you. One more and
Hare
then we'll
Krishna.
end. Okay, go ahead.
To get out of the all three modes of material nature, it is actually very difficult by our own endeavor. But if you surrender to Krishna, then it becomes very easy actually, because he can see our endeavor and he can bless us and give us the knowledge so we can go to him. So rather than doing our own endeavors, we should just take shelter of Krishna.
Very good. Can I ask you a question, Prabhu?
Sure.
What is the beginning symptom of surrendering or taking shelter of Krishna? It's easy. We hear this. But what is reality, practical?
First thing we have to take the shelter of Guru and take instructions from him and serving him. So that is the first thing we have to do to get any knowledge about Krishna and how to surrender. Guru can tell us properly. But for the symptom, we have to get humility and also full faith in Krishna. So those things are important.
Very good. Very good. Something else also you can add to your list. Is correct what you said. Just add 2 more things. It will help a lot. Because that's how Krishna actually, Sanatana Goswami Pad actually break down. See if you are thinking what can I do right now that will bring pleasure to Prabhupada and Krishna? See if you are thinking. And if you are not thinking, you are not actually surrendering. If you are thinking, yes, surrendering actually taking place. This is the examination. I'm a little bit more of a practical examination. What should I not do? What can I give up right now that will bring pleasure to Guru Krishna? Just the opposite to the first one. Sounds like same, but no. Okay, I'm not going to hear any prajalpa right now while I'm chanting. Even mind will pull me, I'm not going to do it. And Krishna pays attention when you say that. That is called Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mahamekam. So these two principles, out of 6, just these 2 principles, if you can keep it always in front of your forehead, your surrender will be very quick. Taking Guru initiation is very important, but these 2 principles will actually sustain. And on those 2 principles, you will see Radharani is the highest lover of Krishna on these 2 principles. Because she's constantly thinking. Radharani constantly thinking, what should I do right now so that he will be happy with me? These 2 principles, same 2 principles, we can apply in our day-to-day life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Otherwise, we close for today.
Prabhuji, you forgot about Advaita Acharya's questions which you gave yesterday.
Okay, what question you had? Would you like to help pay off the debts?
No, you said you will be asking us. You just gave us those questions so we can think about it. You have given 5 questions to us.
Who has which question?
No, you have given 5 questions to us.
I know.
Yesterday. 6 questions.
So what would you like to know? Which one?
All of them. I mean, we need to discuss.
Oh, well, that will take an hour.
Oh, Prabhuji.
How about the beard, Prabhuji? Like why we put white beard for Advaita Acharya Prabhu?
Where did you see Advaita Acharya has a beard? Let me see if you noticing.
Yeah, in everywhere it is. Advaita.
Everywhere it is. Very good. You know the picture Prabhupada brought it in Jaladuta, and original picture is with Rupanuga Prabhu. You know, most of the senior Prabhupada's disciples, they all live here, few hundreds. You're talking about 400 or 500, they live here. And we have a 10 fallen sannyasis, they all live here too. They were sannyasi big time one time, but they stepped down. They also live here. They did a lot of service. They're wonderful devotees. So I have a picture of original Panchatattva that Prabhupada carried from India with him and it also has a beard. So it's very funny. It's like a whole beautiful painting Prabhupada carried in his trunk. And so I'm going to give you just little tips that you can read yourself, so you'll not, you'll find the perfect answer. I'll just give you just, how do I say, just the reference, because it is necessary. Otherwise, if you tell somebody, oh, I heard from Pran Govinda Das, they will say, where does it say? Maybe not all, but some will, because reference is always good on Siddhanta. Realization, you don't need reference, but others, you do need reference. So this is the reference from Madhya Lila, Chaitanya Bhagavad, Madhya Lila 16.99. And you can find even online nowadays, Google has all the Veda base. I mean, Google has everything. It's very mysterious miracle. The words goes, I memorized this. Tarje garje acharya darite diya hat, bhrukuti koriya nache Santipuranath. Santipuranath means the Lord of Santipur. He was so overwhelmed in the Sankirtan that he was experiencing such a surge of ecstasy. He began to dance and running here, there, and giving Haribol, Hunkar, and his finger going through flowing beard, raising his voice as loud as thunder. His eyebrows were drawn together in a frown. Now, we have a commentary of Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. I also looked at, I have my dictionary. I look at the Bengali dictionary. It says that Dari is a Bengali word, means beard. Dari also means chin. You know, chin right here. So not necessarily it is beard. Now with Rupanuga Prabhu, one of the senior most devotee in 60s that came to Prabhupada, he made so many devotees. He lives here also. He remembers that actually Prabhupada said Advaita Acharya are painted or given a beard just to signify that he is senior most of all. He is 52 years older than Mahaprabhu. But Krishna is eternally 16 years old. Vishnu Tattva never become old. It is not the Western philosophy of Zeus or God of Greece, that the big Lord is sitting in a cloud, his gray beard, you know, with a stick because he's getting old. He created the, this is not a good conception according to Shastra. God never becomes old. It's eternally 16 years. Even though Krishna lived for 125, but he's eternally 16 years. And I can give you many references. Even Mother Rukmini, who is very aware of Krishna's going in and out of the Dwarka. And every time he goes out, he comes with a new wife. So she's familiar. She's familiar. So she's cooking in the kitchen. All of a sudden, she saw Krishna is returning with a new girl. And she's thinking, oh, this girl is so beautiful. Of course, little jealousy is there probably. It doesn't say, but I'm sure it is there. Because she did keep Satyabhama for a long time. Krishna says, please check the calendar and let us know the date of wedding, because she's the first queen. So Krishna always asks her. And Satyabhama was locked up in a guest house with all the facility, but she wants to marry Krishna and she wants to stay with Krishna. But Rukmini was prolonging. So, you know, that the idea is there because she was so beautiful. Rukmini was worried that if Krishna marries to her and then maybe he won't come to my house. I'm not saying this happened, but the thought comes to her. So at that time, Krishna was 50 years old. But Krishna was so handsome. And this young girl coming, and then when they came very close to her house, then all of a sudden her breast milk started pouring out. Now, this is a significance according to Rupa Goswami. Breast milk of a mother, breast milk of a lady only pours out towards the children, not the husband or anybody else. Only for the children. Then she got overwhelmed. So what's going on with me? Why breast milk is coming out? Then finally Krishna arrived right in front and bowed down to touch her feet. And then she's thinking, what's going on? He says, Mommy, this is Pradyumna, I'm your son. Because he was kidnapped, if you remember in Krishna book. And he arrived just before 16. So there's many references that Krishna's age is supposed to be 50, but looks like Krishna 100%. Krishna always looks like 16 years old in Dwarka. Never became 16 years one day, 1 month, nothing. 16 years or older. I mean younger, like that. Okay, so this is Chaitanya Bhagavad has 16.99, where it says that he has a beard or chin, but actually God does not have a beard, gray beard. He never grows old. That's the truth. Prabhupada said this is put it just to make a statement that he is the oldest amongst all Panchatattva, other Panchatattva. That's all. Okay.
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
number 6 question which you gave. One God spoke Bhagavad Gita, hearing that another God got confused and depressed. To remove depression, another God came to remove it. It's really tricky question for me.
Yeah, it is tricky question. Do you know how big that it took whole chapter? Madhya Chaitanya Bhagavad Madhya Lila chapter 10. The whole chapter is just on this question. Now for hundreds of pages, you want me to give you the essence in one line. It is Krishna who spoke Bhagavad Gita, and Advaita Acharya, when he was doing his Bhagavad Gita study, just like here, not with the Zoom, he had a better than Zoom. He would talk heart to heart. So it was very nice. And when he came to this verse, 13:14 or 14:13, that Sarvata Pani Padam Tat Sarvata Akshi Shiro Mukham Sarvata Srutimal Loke Sarvam Abrita Tishtati. That Krishna's hands, Krishna's legs, Krishna's eyes, everywhere, all over in the creation. Wait, where is the material nature then? That's how the verse Krishna explained. And so Advaita Acharya, who is Mahavishnu, he could not figure it out how to understand this verse and what the reality is. So it was so difficult that he was crying to the Lord Krishna who spoke it. Then Lord Krishna appeared in a form of Lord Chaitanya. He said, don't worry, I am coming down to explain you very soon. And he did explain. And I hope I can put it together in a short one and send to all of you, because the speaking is like a long. But you can read Madhya Lila chapter 10, Chaitanya Bhagavad.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So we are all happy now. We can close.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, when you were saying Chaitanya Bhagavat Madhya Khanda or Chaitanya Charitamrit Madhya Lila?
Chaitanya Bhagavat, chapter 10, Madhya Khanda.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. So we're going to chant that verse. Vancha kalpa taru vesya kripa sindhu vacha titanam pavane
Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Anantagari Vaishnav Brinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev ki jai, Gaur Pramanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Bol.